Hey guys, Phelpsy here. I wanted to let you know my thoughts on stage 1 of the 2026 Cologne Major, and then give you my pick'ems for stage 2. Stage 1 was super fun to watch. I didn't get to watch everything, but I did get to see a good number of the games, so I'd love to get my feedback on some of them. So as you can see, I didn't quite reach that threshold of 5 correct pick'ems in stage 1. I got a little bit unlucky with some of my draws. I got a little bit unlucky with how some teams ended up going out. As you can see, neither of my O3s were correct, but you'll notice Thunder Down Under and Sharks went out 1-3. They ended up winning their opening game against their opponents and then doing nothing else the entire time. So a little frustrating there, but what are you going to do, you know? Best of ones are the best place to get a pick'ems wrong. Unfortunate draw with my O3s. Also an unfortunate draw with my 3-0s. As you can see here, I picked Gamer Legion and Bet Boom to go through 3-0. They ended up playing each other in this 2-0 decider. So a little bit of bad luck there. It's all right. My assertion that M80 is the best North American team in this stage still stands true. And Liquid went out exactly how I predicted them to, sadly. They went out 2-3 after showing some okay form in this tournament. I wouldn't say they played well by any means, but they look a little more cohesive as a team. So, I mean, you got that for Liquid. Nitro, again, shows us that he is a prolific choker when it comes to big moments. I can't say I'm shocked at the way that they went out because it's just his MO. Regardless, I wasn't too far off on my stage 1 pick'ems. I can't fault myself too heavily. I mean, this tier of Counter-Strike is a little difficult to follow sometimes. I got a little unlucky with Tyloo drawing Lin Vision for this 2-2 decider. That domestic matchup, Tyloo just looked like they've been through it 100 times. Looks like they just know how Lin Vision play and just absolutely dominated them. Big, I mean, watching them play, I didn't know they switched their in-game leader from Tapson to Blame F before this tournament. I thought they just had Blame F with Tapson still calling, but I mean, it looked okay, I guess. And then we did end up getting an Australian team through. So that was a little surprising, but I still ended up having Bait and Gamer Legion going through. I just had them in the wrong spots. Bait was the other one I wanted to put 3-0, but I just couldn't justify it because Gamer Legion and Bet Boom were so good. This was just so unlucky. This was just so unlucky. So what are you gonna do? When I saw Tyloo go down 0-2, I was like, dang, I made the right choice picking Lin Vision, and yeah, womp womp. All right, well, yeah. That's stage 1 for you. It was chaotic. It was fun though. It was a lot of fun. It's always fun seeing these teams play against each other because you either get really clean CS on one side with some really messy CS on the other, or you get these really fun competitive games. And I'd say a lot of them were in that either clinical dismantling of another team or they were absolute barn burners, just close games. So, I mean, always fun to watch, even if you don't know the players. It's just fun to watch that competitive CS. Stage 1 was enjoyable. I'm really excited for stage 2. I think it has even more opportunity to be crazy. I think maybe some more opportunity for some upsets. I don't know if my pick'ems are going to reflect the potential upsets, but we'll see. But stage 1, super fun. I had a great time watching it. I didn't get to watch all of it just because it's a lot of Counter-Strike and I do have a job. But it was really fun to watch the games I did catch. And yeah, I can't say I'm too particularly surprised. I got most of the eliminations correct. The only team I'm disappointed in is this heroic team. Lin Vision, I'm not disappointed in them per se. I'm just sad that they ended up pulling Tyloo on this. So I'm not disappointed in their performance at all. It just looks like they got matched up against somebody who knows exactly how they play. So just unlucky there. I am a little disappointed in Liquid, but I'm also not surprised. I'm not disappointed in NRG, and I'm not surprised that they got eliminated. I'm honestly shocked that they made it to the 2-2 decider. But yeah, I can't say I'm too shocked by any of the results here. I'm just a little sad that I didn't get it quite right, but that's okay. Let's jump into stage 2 now. Now, stage 2 has the opportunity to be some really banging games. I think there's going to be some barn burners in this stage. I think there's a lot of competitive teams in this stage that are going to be able to bring the fight to a lot of their opponents a lot more consistently than we saw in the first round. That being said, I do still think there's some obvious picks for some of these and might not be as upsetty as you might anticipate. That being said, that doesn't mean I don't think these games aren't going to be good. One of the main teams here that I think is going to go through is Foot. I think Foot's going to advance 3-0. The reason I think that is because Foot always comes out and they're just very, very solid. I think they come out, they play really good CS that teams don't expect this young Foot team to play. And I mean, they were the Navi junior team, so obviously they had that structure built into them and then were bought out by Foot. So, I mean, they come with that structure. They obviously played this super structured CS. And I think with the belief in themselves that they have, I believe that they're going to get through this stage 2 relatively easily. I think simply for the fact that they believe that they're better than everybody here. Maybe not Spirit or G2, but I think they would believe that they are better than most of the competition at this stage. And I would agree with that. I think they are better than a lot of the competition at this stage. That's not to say that I think they're going to go on and be a dark horse for the entire major. But I do think that they had the opportunity to win some games here, and I do think that they're going to go through this second stage relatively easily, especially because their first game is against Bait. And I think I've seen that matchup before. I think they win that matchup. Let's do one of the teams I think is going to go out 0-3. I think it's safe to put FlyQuest there now. They showed some flashes of some pretty good team play, but I just think they're outclassed by a lot of the teams here. I think a lot of the teams here have either better firepower or they've got better team play. So I think FlyQuest is one of those teams that, despite looking okay in the first part in stage 1, I think they're going to go out here pretty easily. To be fair, they beat Sinners, who went out 0-3, so not much to go off of there. Gamer Legion beat them 13-11. They played Gamer Legion pretty close. And they lost to NRG, whatever. Then they beat their domestic match, which you would hope, as what I proclaimed as the better Australian team, they would do. And then they beat Liquid, which I don't think any team really celebrates at this point. I think most of the teams in stage 1 fully anticipate beating Liquid. I don't think anybody's afraid of them anymore. I think everybody just sees them as this disheveled project that refuses to die, which is what they are. So, yeah. I don't think FlyQuest had any super impressive wins in that first stage. I don't think they're going to get any wins in this second stage. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they win their first game again. Maybe they win their first best of 1. Who knows? The next team I think is going to go out 0-3 is Big. Big, first off, before stage 1, I didn't know they switched their in-game leader to BlameF. I don't like the way that BlameF IGLs. I don't like the way that they're playing with him IGLing. I don't think it's conducive to how this team is structured. It doesn't feel good. The eye test tells me that something is off, that the wheels are coming off, basically, that they're not fully functioning, that they're stalling. I don't know. I mean, that game against NRG, which I won't spoil, but you should go watch. I don't know. Nothing super inspiring, really, with this team. I think that they farmed tier 2 so much that they've grown into a lot of bad habits that are now being punished by a lot of these upper teams. And I think the second stage is really going to expose them for that. I think they're going to have a hard time getting through this stage. Hell, I think they're going to have a hard time getting a win in this stage. I mean, their first game is against Monty, and Monty's a good team. I think Monty's going to kind of mop the floor with them in the first game. My next pick's going to be Legacy. I like this Legacy team. I like that Art came in and has kind of made them play in a way that's really, really conducive to how the team is built. It seems to mesh really well with the players on the roster, and they seem to have a good understanding of how Art likes to call rounds and how to exist in an Art system. I know a lot of people were skeptical at first of Art and coming into this team and what he did on Furia and then coming into Legacy, but I still think that this team has enough surprise and enough gimmick to get through this stage relatively easily. I think that they've also shown the tenacity to win some of these close games when they get there. So I think they're just one of those teams that's mentally resilient enough to really grind their way through this stage. I don't think that they're at a skill disadvantage, and I don't think that they're at any sort of mental disadvantage. I believe that they're going to be a strong contender to get through this stage. Probably 3-2, maybe 3-1. I do think that they'll drop a game somewhere in here, but I don't think it's going to be too detrimental. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they lost their best of 1, like their first best of 1, but I'd also not be surprised, honestly, if they went 2-0 in their best of 1s, because they're just that kind of team. They play a brand of Counter-Strike that really lends itself to go through those best of ones and kind of surprise these teams. Even if you know what they're going to do, it's just surprising to play against. It's just a different animal when you're in the server kind of thing. Now, let's get the obvious one out of the way. The other team I have going 3-0 Spirit. This is the safest choice out of the entire pick'ems, is to have Spirit go through this stage 2 stage 3-0. Now, Spirit's going to come in cold. They're going to play a hot Bet Boom who just swept the last stage. And I think that's going to be a really hard challenge for them in that first game. And I think if they handle that challenge well of playing Bet Boom, I think they're going to do really well to move on and get that 3-0 sweep. Now, if they lose to Bet Boom, I still think they advance, but they're going to struggle a lot. I think this Bet Boom game against Boomich and against those players on that Bet Boom team, which I really like, I think they're super strong, they might struggle, especially in a best of one, especially depending on what map it's on. Now, if it's Bet Boom versus Spirit on Dust 2, I'd take Spirit all day. If it's Bet Boom versus Spirit on, say, even Mirage, that's a toss-up to me. I don't think you can confidently say Spirit wins that one. But we'll see. I still think if Spirit can get past that really hard hurdle of Bet Boom in that first game, and they come out strong, and they come out in form, and Donk is just shitting on everyone, then real easy 3-0. If they come out, they're a little slow. Zontix looks awful, which he sometimes does. Magic's calling just doesn't look great. If they have Holly back as their coach, I think they might struggle a little bit. I don't know if he's back. I don't know if he's back for the major. I don't know if they kept their assistant coach as the head coach. I don't think Holly is everything that people make him out to be. I think he kind of forced Chopper out and then implemented a system onto this team that doesn't really work. And I think now that they've had this interim coach and he's really been focusing on their micro rather than their macro, which as a professional Counter-Strike team, obviously, yes, you need to understand the macro of the game, but that's not what wins and loses you games at this level of competition. What wins and loses you games at this level of competition are the small details. It's the utility damage. It's the flash assists. It's all of that little minutia and team experience that gets you across that line. So it's going to depend on a lot. We'll see if they're able to get through Bet Boom. I think if they get through Bet Boom, they've got a really easy path to the 3-0. I think if they lose to Bet Boom, they're gonna maybe show some signs of weakness while they advance. I still think they advance, regardless of if they win or lose that opener. Now, with that, I believe G2's gonna make it through here. G2's really good. I know it might not seem like it. The conglomeration of players doesn't really seem like they're a super competitive team, but I'm telling you, they have the juice to take it to vitality even. So I don't believe a team of that caliber is going to struggle in this stage super hard. They might drop a game, especially because their first match is against M80, who's coming off a super hot run in stage 1. Looking at it in a best of 1 scenario, there's a chance that they drop a map here. Or a game, which, I mean, in a best of 1 is just a map. There's a chance that they drop a map here. They're not always the most disciplined team. They just have enough talent on that team to be able to remedy any lack of discipline. So I think G2 goes through here. I think Astralis goes through here. As long as Stair is playing well, I think if Ryu can pick up his form even just a little bit, I think this Astralis team can be really, really good. You've got Stair, you've got Yabi, you've got Ryu, you've got Hooksy calling. Who's the last player on Astralis? Fuzi. Oh yeah, that's right, Fuzi. Fuzi's a solid opper. So as long as they get decent performances out of their riflers, if Yabi's popping off, if Ryu's popping off, I think they've got a good chance to make it through this stage. I do also think Bet Boom's going to get through here. I think Bet Boom's a really good team. I just really like this Bet Boom team. I like Boomich. I like this Bet Boom team. I think they've got a lot of talent. I know they're a little, like, they've got like a 7-man roster situation. They've got Dilladez and Flamus because some of their players were having visa issues, and then they didn't have Dilladez last time, but they still had Flamus to fill in for one of the other players that couldn't get a visa. So they're like in a weird spot that I think lends them to being unpredictable, because Dilladez looked incredible. And for a player who didn't play the last tournament come in and look as good as Dilladez did, from the little bit that I saw, admittedly I didn't get to watch that much because A, they advanced super quickly, and B, I work a job, so I didn't get to watch that much. But from what I did see, Dilladez looked great. Flamus still looked great. The fact that Flamus is like fighting to stay on this team, or to just get on a team in general, baffles me. Like, this kid is incredible, and we're struggling to get this man a job. Like, come on. It's just silly to me. Like, there's so many teams that could benefit from his firepower that I think the fact that he's struggling to stay in the lineup and they keep trying to take him out, but they keep having visa issues, so he keeps coming back. It's just silly to me. At this point, you may as well just keep him because your team cohesion has become kind of one with him, but whatever. Hey, he's a good player that deserves to be on a good team. That's all I'm saying. Now, out of these teams left, it makes it a little hard to pick one. I want to say Bait and Gamer Legion, but Bait crumbles when the pressure increases. Bait has been known to crumble when the pressure increases. Let's look at what Bait won through 3-0. So they're coming on. Who did they beat, though? Was it impressive? They beat Tyloo, they beat Thunder Down Under, and they beat M80. So no. It was not super impressive. Bait tends to crumble. Really what I'm deciding between Pain, Monty, Gamer Legion, and Bait. Those are the 4 teams in my head that I think have the opportunity to go through here that aren't going to really struggle. I don't think M80, Tyloo, or MIB are going to go through. 9Z, it's hard to say. I've not watched a lot of 9Z. I know they've got DGT. I know they've got Wasopik. I know they've got Luchov, Marin, and Max. I mean, if I'm picking a team here, let's look at Pain's roster. Pain just has more experience. I think Pain, I mean, they've got VSM, which I was a little skeptical of that signing at first, but he looks pretty good on that team. Big Azera's always really good. I don't know how to say his name. Pariah looked pretty good. Safe looks good. Snow looks good. My one gripe with Pain is how long they've held on to Snow. He was touted as this great prospect, and he's just kind of looked mediocre. I do like this Monty team because I like BMOS. I also like Afro, and I think Gizme's really good. And this Monty team definitely going through. I always love a Monty team. So, I mean, it comes down to, do I think Bait or Gamer Legion's going to make it through here? And, man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Let's look at the Bait roster really quick. Do I think Bait has what it takes to beat Foot? And then not only beat Foot, but then go on to win 2 more games. I mean, I think if they lose to this Foot lineup, there's kind of a chance that they just kind of crash out. But I do believe that there's also a chance that, like, they could play, like, a Big down here. They could play a Tyloo down here. It's a tough call. It's a tough call. You know what? I'm going to go with my gut. I'm looking at this Foot Bait matchup, and I just don't feel it. I don't feel it. You know what I do feel? I feel that Snacks is hungry, dog. I feel like Snacks is hungry. I think Snacks is going to come in here, and he's going to have something to prove. I'm completely just bullshitting. But I do think Snacks is going to be able to come in here and pull his Gamer Legion team across the line. I think with him, Rez, and the way that Towson and PR are playing, as well as Hypex being one of the most solid operators in this space right now, I think they've got a good opportunity to get their team through. We'll see. This stage is going to be scrappy. I'm going to tell you that much. This stage is going to be scrappy. There's not going to be a single game in here, except for maybe the ones against M80, MIBR, Tyloo, that are going to be walks in the park for any team in this stage. There's definitely going to be some challenges in here for Spirit, especially if they can't get past that bet boom test. It's going to be a scrappy stage 2. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So I'm super excited for it to get started, and we'll just have to see how it goes. So we'll go ahead and lock this in. There we go. My picks are locked. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll be back for stage 3 once stage 2 wraps up to give you my thoughts and to give you my stage 3 pick'ems. If you liked the video, like the video. If you like my content, feel free to subscribe. I'm going to try and make more of it on Counter-Strike as we go through these events throughout the year. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye!